Sir Ronald, pag-usapan natin ito. Is the future right course of action for the Philippines to tighten relationship with both Ukraine and Taiwan? Kasi more or less in the same boat tayo. Lahat tayo binubuli. In the case of Ukraine, invaded na sila ng a neighboring authoritarian superpower. And in the case of Taiwan, they could be invaded. And in the case of the Philippines, we could get dragged into a conflict or directly hit because of the South China Sea issue or something along those lines. Dapat ba magsama-sama tayo? Kasi of course, on the surface, you can be very dismissive. Our total trade with Ukraine is $16 million. Siguro si Alice ko, pag sinama mo yung mga helicopter niyan, gano'n, baka mas malaki pa siyang ano. I'm just saying, baka naman, di ba? So there's not much economic interaction. Officially, there are only 25 Filipinos in Ukraine. Marami sa kanilang, they're already Ukrainian kasi nag-asawa na sila, yung anak nila nandun. So it's very easy to dismiss this. And I think the only thing that really he asked for, si Zelensky, was healthcare support, especially dun sa war, trauma, ganon. So hindi pa tayo even sa usapan ng reconstruction, real estate. I'm sure yung mga oligarchs sa Pilipinas, ay, baka gusto natin sumali din sa reconstruction. Malaking kita yan, di ba? If ever sumali sila doon. So on the surface, it's easy to dismiss this, but at the same time, you can say, maybe this is just the beginning of a new chapter, because at the same time as we're getting closer more openly with Ukraine, nagpaparamdam din tayo sa Taiwan, di ba? Medyo kung tignan mo yung mga Twitter flirtations natin with Taiwan, congrats si Lai, congrats si Marcos, thank you, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Is there something going on here? Could there be kind of Philippine-Taiwan-Ukraine alliance of, siyempre sabihin ng mga kabila, puppets, pero itong alliance ng mga besieged countries? I mean, honestly, Ronald, I want to say this. Isn't it shameful for supposed progressives who are supposed to stand for underdogs of this world to gaslight weaker countries like Ukraine and Taiwan, not to mention Philippines, to kind of justify imperialism of the Russias or even Chinas of this world? Hindi ba sila yung puppets in a way of Kremlin and Zhong Nanghai? Isn't this like a betrayal of what progressives are? Progressives are supposed to be with any underdog in any conflict. So wala akong pake kung Russian itong imperialism or American or whatever. You should be with the underdog, right? I mean, isn't that the whole essence of being a progressive?
Yes. Hindi naman pwede na ikaw ay pro-human rights, pro-civil liberties, anti-genocide, no? Anti foreign aggression. Pero yan ay i-implement mo lang dito sa ating bahagi ng mundo. Yung yung lagi natin pinag-uusapan sa mga previous episodes, hindi ka pwede mag-cherry picking, no? When it comes to international law, when it comes to human rights, when it comes to aggression. Kung yan ay mangyayari sa isang bansa like Ukraine, dapat i-condemn mo yan, no? Kung yan ay mangyayari sa Palestine, dapat i-condemn mo yan, di ba? Kung yan ay mangyayari sa mga Tibetans, kailangan i-condemn mo yan. So mahirap na West Philippines silang yung focus, yung iyong attention. So dapat kung i-invoke natin ang international law, then we have to be internationalists. No? We have to be supportive do sa sinasabi mong mga underdog na kinukuha. At hindi yan limited lamang dito sa Russian, Chinese aggression. Halimbawa, binabalati natin ng US for their support sa Israel in this genocidal war in Palestine. No? So, wag sabihin na tayo ay mga puppets lamang ng US, no? Baka sila ay very selective din. Hindi rin nila tinitignan yung ating condemnation, no? Doon sa mga sumusuporta sa Israel dito sa gera sa Palestine, dito sa
And let's
genocide.
be very clear. So
Yeah.
I appreciate this. One thing that I didn't capture as much headlines is Zelensky also coming out and saying they want Israel to stop this. They want the suffering to stop.
Yes.
So it's quite
Yeah.
important because Zelensky is asking Israel's help on the defense and military front against Russia. And of course, Zelensky
Yes.
is of Jewish faith. I think people, have to be reminded of that. And in spite of that, he came very strongly in the Shangri dialogue, said, we also want this war to stop. So again, he's calling for ceasefire. He doesn't want what's happening in Rafah right now, which the ICJ, ICC, all sorts of different international organizations. So, yun nga eh, parang itong mga ibang kunyaring leftist na yun, parang wala silang respeto sa strategic agency and sovereignty of smaller countries. Either ikaw ay tuta ng West or effectively tuta ng China or Russia. I mean, that's a very terribly binary world. And karamihan ng mga leftists na ito ayaw mag-migrate sa Russia or China. I wonder why. Pero gusto nila pag may conference sa Taiwan, gusto nila mag-conference sa Amerika, punta ka agad. Pero pag may conference sa Moscow, Beijing, ang daming excuse. Ay, ano ako, anong ganyan. I mean, the hypocrisy, right? Just the hypocrisy.
Exactly. No? At kahit dito sa kanilang criticism sa China, it has less to do with Chinese aggression. It has more to do dahil pinakulong ni Xi Jinping yung leader ng Maoist faction within the Communist Party. No, mas ganun ka narrow yung kanilang pinanggagalingan.
Talagang barangay level yung politics eh.
Oo. Yan yung pero mas delicate pa yung issue ng Taiwan. Unang-una, meron pa rin tayong one China policy. Definitely tutol tayo kung forcibly lulusubin ng China ang Taiwan at papatayin, i-slaughter yung mga Taiwanese at kasama dyan yung ating 200,000 Filipino OFWs na nandun na definitely ay tatamaan sa isang gera between the mainland and Taiwan. So, ibang usapin yun, no? Ibang usapin yun. Pero yung papayag ba tayong madraw isa-isang gera over Taiwan is more delicate and is more complicated, no? Lalo na malinaw sa ating konstitusyon that we reject war as an instrument of national policy, no? Yun yung medyo delicate diyan. Pero halimbawa nung nagsalita ako sa German Parliament nung June 2022, yung attention ng Germany noon ay basically Ukraine. I was trying to get their attention. To get their attention, binago ko yung title ng aking speech. Tinawag ko yung The South China Sea as the next Ukraine. Doon nakinig sila lahat. Doon medyo nakarelate sila, no? At fast forward, pumunta rito yung head ng EU. On that basis, that the South China Sea is not that far away from what is happening in Ukraine and Eastern Europe.
Wait, Ronald, you're saying because of you she went here?
No. Pero ibig sabihin, at that time, for me, it was tactical. It was for me just to get their attention, no? Pero ibang usapin pa, inuulit ko yung Taiwan. Dahil nga as a foreign policy, meron pa rin tayong one China policy. Although it doesn't it will never defend any war of aggression against Taiwan, no? To forcibly put that island as part of the mainland. Ibang usapin yun. Pero to go to war over Thailand is much more complicated, delicate, at marami pa yung mahaba pang diskusyon niya.
But I'll push you a little bit on this. So I think the Ukraine one is easier kasi in a sense that hindi naman tayo nagbibigyan ng lethal support sa Ukraine. It's more diplomatic support. I don't think Russia will like impose anything on us, assuming they can do anything. Should we, I don't know, join the peace summit or whatever, or send nurses to help with their recovery and all? I don't think. I mean, Russia didn't do that to Singapore when Singapore even imposed sanctions. They're just gonna put in some unfriendly list and then eventually get over it. But the Taiwan issue, you're absolutely correct that this is ibang usapan na to. But can the Philippines be neutral really on Taiwan? I mean, di ba tatamaan naman talaga tayo ng China regardless kasi US ally tayo. So really our options here is to either completely withdraw from the US alliance as early as right now, or if we're gonna be there, you're damn if you do, damn if you don't. So I don't know. I mean, Mavulis is just next to Taiwan. I'm sure the Chinese will hit that if it comes to war. They're not gonna wait for us to make a decision. Oh, we'll allow Americans or not. I don't think even Americans will wait anymore. So what are you saying here?
Well, ibang usapin kung the Chinese drew first blood in our territory, no? In our against our citizens. Ibang usapin 'yan, no? Pero kaya sinasabi ko na delicate, no? Halimbawa, last election, if the third candidate joined the Kuomintang, no? The DPP would not have won. Ibig sabihin, even Taiwanese society vis-a-vis China ay hindi ganun ka-overwhelming, unlike halimbawa sa Philippines vis-a-vis China. No, yung bahagi yan ng pagiging delicate at saka nung issue ng pan. Halimbawa, 2 elections ago, no? Kung hindi nagkalat yung Kuomintang, no? They could have won no? Dahil pababa yung DPP noon at that time, no? Katulad nitong last election. Pero imagine mo kung nanalo yung Kuomintang 2 elections ago or last election, then baka malaking bahagi nitong pinag-uusapan natin ay hindi natin pinag-uusapan. No? Yung ganun ba? Hindi siya ganun ka-polarize. Hindi siya ganun, even within Taiwanese society. Even within Taiwanese society. Kaya, that's why, pero duda ako kung the Chinese will provoke the Americans and the West by invading Taiwan soon. No? Duda ako. Dahil malinaw naman sa China that they are militarily still a decade behind the US and especially the West. No? Kaya the Chinese are very pragmatic. I doubt kung pupunta sila sa isang gera na
They're not
tingin
gonna be like
nila,
Russians. They're not like Putin.
yeah,
I
yeah.
completely agree.
Yan yung kwan, no? Yeah.
Last point on this before we go to the really important issue of Duterte. I want to talk about Duterte. There's no way we're gonna finish our talk unless we talk about it. I want to ask this, Ronald. What about the deterrence aspect? Because this isn't really about war, right? This is about making Xi Jinping think twice before doing something funny. What is the Goldilocks optimal level of Philippine involvement dapat dyan sa Taiwan question? Shouldn't we more directly contribute to deterrence of a Taiwanese invasion? What's your stance on that?
Well, indirectly we are. No? Indirectly we are doing that. Ang tanong, will we do that more directly? No? So yun yung gray zone, yun yung gray area, no? Na for example, papagamit ba natin yung mga EDCA camps natin as a staging ground for a war over Taiwan? No? Maraming kanyan, legal and constitutional complications. No?
And tactical military too. What kind of weapons?
Yes, hindi yan kayang gawin lamang ng presidente. No? At maraming magsasampa ng kaso laban sa kanya. It could even be an impeachable offense for some. No? Kaya yun ang sinasabi ko na delicate. Hindi siya black and white. Dahil may mga ibang panggagalingan tayo as a nation. No? Ibang usapin nung Vietnam War or Korean War. Iba yung panahon na yun eh. It's the height of the Cold War. At meron tayong the biggest American bases ay nandito with extraterritorial powers. No? So,
Which is unconstitutional na ngayon, exactly. We don't want to go back to that.
Ibang context yun.
I see
Ngayon, hindi mo pwedeng i-invoke yan. Kaya, yun yung sinasabi kong more complicated, more delicate. No?
More delicate, and obviously this is an operational military issue. Don't worry, Ron. I'm not gonna push you too much on that. You had a long day. I'll talk to Admiral Ong among others on this issue. So don't worry. I just wanted you to see where I'm coming from. Na medyo undecided pa rin ako kasi nagigets ko ang daming mga gray zones dito na pwede pag-usapan. But one issue now, there's no gray zone, or who knows? Baka may gray zone pa rin is the whole Duterte Marcos Cold War. Ito na yung term ko ngayon, Cold War. You know, ultimate Cold War na pag-usapan natin in the next episode. Thank you very much, Sir Ronald Llamas.